can power truly corrupt? And can fear truly control? These questions come to mind when reflecting on the lives of some of the world's most notorious mob bosses. Their tales, shrouded in the darkness of organized crime, are tales of influence and terror, each one more chilling than the last. Our journey starts in the early 20th century with the infamous Charles "Lucky" Luciano. Born in Sicily in 1897, Luciano emigrated to America, where he became known as the father of modern organized crime. With his hand in everything from prostitution to narcotics, Luciano used his influence to control the New York underworld, laying the groundwork for the 5 families that still operate today. Fast forward to the 1930s, and Al Capone enters the stage. Known as Scarface, Capone was the boss of the Chicago outfit. He made a fortune during Prohibition and wasn't afraid to use violence to maintain his empire. His downfall? Tax evasion. It seems even mob bosses can't avoid the taxman. Next, we move to the 1940s, with Frank Costello, known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld. Costello was a key figure in the formation of the National Crime Syndicate and was known for his political connections, proving that crime and politics can sometimes mix in the most dangerous of ways. As we enter the 1950s, we meet Joseph Bonanno, one of the youngest bosses in the history of the American Mafia. Known for his business acumen, Bonanno expanded his family's operations into numerous industries, showing the expanding influence of organized crime in everyday life. The 1960s bring us to Carlos Marcello, the boss of the New Orleans crime family. Marcello maintained his power for over 3 decades, and his rumored involvement in the Kennedy assassination underscores the far-reaching influence of mob bosses. By the 1970s, the reign of Frank Lucas had begun. Lucas, unlike his Italian-American counterparts, was an African-American mob boss from Harlem. Known for cutting out the middleman in the drug trade, Lucas made millions, showing that organized crime was not limited by race or ethnicity. In the 1980s, we meet John Gotti, the Teflon Don. Gotti was the boss of the Gambino family and was known for his flamboyant style. Despite numerous attempts to convict him, Gotti managed to avoid prison until the late 1990s, reinforcing the idea that mob bosses were untouchable. As we move into the 1990s, we meet Semion Mogilevich, dubbed the boss of bosses in the Russian mafia. With a global criminal enterprise, Mogilevich showed the evolution of organized crime in the post-Cold War era. The turn of the millennium brings us to Joaquín Guzmán, or El Chapo. As the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, El Chapo made billions trafficking drugs and was known for his elaborate escape from prison, showing the continued audacity of mob bosses in the 21st century. Our journey ends in the present day with Dawood Ibrahim, the boss of the Indian organized crime syndicate D Company. Ibrahim, currently on Interpol's most wanted list, has diversified his criminal portfolio to include everything from drug trafficking to match fixing, showing the continued evolution and influence of organized crime in today's world. Each of these men, in their own way, shaped the world of organized crime. Their stories, while chilling, serve as a reminder of the power and influence a single individual can wield and the fear they can instill. They were puppet masters pulling the strings of a dark underworld. But remember, even puppet masters are not immune to the long arm of the law.